Hey neighbors, Brent here, just checking in with you. When I first moved into my office here a couple years ago at the Woodlands UMC, I had a couple folks who had the eye for interior design walk through and walk by my door, and quite honestly, they just flat out said to me, Brent, your office looks a lot like a dorm room, like a college dorm room to be more specific. And I said, well, say more. What do you mean? They said, well, you have these knickknacks all over the place. You've filled your walls with small pieces of artwork and relics. Wouldn't it be more adult and maybe even more fashionable if you, on your bookshelves, only had books? Maybe a handful of family photos. If your wall was maybe just larger pieces of art and not all of the small things you've got hanging all over the place. But here's the deal. The longer we've been together, I hope you've learned about me that I am a connectional person. I am a relational person. I like to be with people. I love to see what I can gather in encounters with other people, and I'm always curious about what I have to offer to the person I'm encountering. If you were there this past Sunday, this encounter is extremely important. We were talking about how the angel came to visit Mary and to be a messenger from God, to reveal to Mary what God's plans were for her and the favor that God had found in her. And I was sharing with all of the folks who were in worship on Sunday that that's really what God has called us to be angels for one another, to be messengers of God's goodwill for one another, to share good news with one another, to speak words of hope and of truth into the lives of others. And so I wanted to give you a quick tour of my office just to show you why I have the things hanging that I have hanging. Again, things here on my wall. I've got this cross here hanging in the middle of my wall here as decor. It's more than just a crucifix. It's a gift. It was a gift that was given to me by a good friend who lives up in the Northeast. And behind this cross is a story of how God brought our two lives together so that she could be a blessing to me and I could be a blessing to her. There's this Taizé picture here. This is an icon from the monastic community from Taizé. It's the brotherhood icon of Jesus and his friend, talking about the importance of community, of fellowship, of one another. There's over here on my shelf a cross that was given to me by a teenager in my first youth ministry, a young lady who went through some very difficult times, and because of her struggles, I was able to be Christ to her, and quite honestly, because of the kindness of things like this little cross that she wrote me at a church camp one year, was a gift of kindness to me to let me know the impact I was having in her life. Of course, I've got a younger brother, and thinking about the relationship that I have with him, sometimes really strong and sometimes not so much. But our attempts to love one another, to forgive one another, to show grace to one another, and of course my boys and the relational nature of that relationship. I think about all the people who surrounded me at my ordination back in 2009, friends and family, all the people who signed this document to remind me that I was the beloved of God, just like Jesus has been called the beloved of God. See, I've got these things all over my office, and they are relational reminders that every time I encounter another person, I have the opportunity to be a messenger of God's hope to them. And I think about all the people, because of these relics, they remind me of persons who have encountered me and who have brought hope to me when I really needed it. I want to just remind you finally of the scripture that I pointed to at the end of the message. It comes from Hebrews chapter 13. And we're reminded that we should keep on loving each other as brothers and sisters. We should show hospitality to strangers, to all people, because in doing so, some have shown hospitality to angels without even knowing it. So my challenge for you this week is to remember what we talked about on Sunday, to be on the lookout for people who are waiting for you to be the angel, the messenger of God, walking into their life to bring them hope. Looking forward to being with you in worship again this coming Sunday. We're moving on to Mary in the creche, the nativity set, and we'll be talking about love and the way that love comes to us at the birth of Christ this year. Can't wait to see you. We'll be there at 9 and 11. Take care and have a great week. God bless you.